This is going to be a nicely detailed SYLVEON guide in depth, specifically with the Mystical Fire and the Draining Kiss build. I think this is such an amazing build and moveset, and we're going to talk over the different items that you can use and the ones that I think are my favorite. So we have just a standard cooldown reduction emblem set. Now I think the muscle and the focus band are non-negotiables, but the third item, you've got the rapid fire scarf, the energy amp, or even the assault vest, or maybe even the body barrier. It's super dependent on whatever you think you like as that third item. I kind of like all of them. Okay, I think they're all heaps of fun. I think they're all very viable and they're heaps of fun. Okay, now you need to get to your level 4 as soon as possible, and you need to focus on pushing for kills instead of going for the farm when you hit your level 4. Okay, now when you're after this farm, it's like you got to be in it to win it. Okay, you keep your range, you see if you can get it, and there I got that piece of farm, which is woohoo. Okay, but you've got to be present in order to get there. Now once you get your SYLVEON, notice I'm not going for the bees, I'm going for them. Okay, because once you kill them, the farm is a lot easier to secure. Now let's talk over the specific build. SYLVEON is a special attacker debuffer. Okay, I see SYLVEON in solo queue as a tank. Now, if you can identify who you're able to launch off at and just constantly debuff, you're going to be doing amazingly. Okay, both of these Pokemon down this bottom lane, they're both special hitters. That means I can push so deep. I can get right in their face and still be able to get away because I've got the focus band, I've got the potion, I've got the draining kiss. So let's firstly talk about Mystical Fire. What this move will do is it'll debuff their special attack by 15%, and this stacks 4 times. So you can do the math there, that's 60%, that's a lot of special attack. Now it's only for a short time, and each time one of those flames hits, it decreases the cooldown of your skill, Mystical Fire. So you can see there, if you watch every time I use Mystical Fire, if you just keep your eyes on the skill, it's constantly decreasing the cooldown. And you can go so deep because Mystical Fire gives you dash. But you need to be aware of your weakness when you're using this, and that is your physical hitters, especially if you put on an assault vest. So maybe even a Rocky Helmet's an option, but you need to be cautious of your weakness. So Zero Orc is able to smash me. Now here you can see I'm facing off against a Ninetales and a Blastoise. I'm very comfortable here. I've got my Unite move up my sleeve, I had the Draining Kiss, I had the Potion. I am so comfortable going deep. I'm so comfortable going in their Flux Zone because I know they can't kill me. And I've got the mobility to just dash in and around. So that's massive, massive value you can get out of using the skill. Now let's talk about Draining Kiss. Now Draining Kiss is a debuffer. It restores your HP and it also decreases the movement speed of the enemies. So it's a lot of lifesteal, which is, it's really nice. Okay, it's not mobility or anything, it's a sure hit and it just heals some health and decreases the movement speed of them. So it's just a really good skill to use in combined with Mystical Fire because you want to have some sustain, you want to give yourself some sustain. Now, this is where the real cool stuff starts. There's a thing called SpellVamp in Pokemon Unite for some of their special hitters, and SYLVEON gets SpellVamp at level 7. So that's pretty nice and pretty early. Okay, so this is kind of like lifesteal for your special skills. So again, it's pretty cool. It just allows you to go deeper. It gives you a little bit more healing. Now let's talk about the boosted autos. This is probably my favorite part of SYLVEON and why Rapid Fire Scarf is probably it's part of why I think it's an amazing build, and also its ability. We'll first talk about the boosted autos. Is that every time you use a boosted auto, you get increased movement speed for 1 second. That's incredible. Like, that's incredible because this Pokemon's so mobile, you're able to just dash around the place, and having that increased movement speed just gives you so much mobility, makes it really hard for the enemies to hit you and get away because you're decreasing their movement speed with a Draining Kiss, you're constantly debuffing them. It's such an amazing auto. Now if all of this wasn't really good enough, you've got the ability Pixelate, which stacks your special attack and your special defense 2.5% 6 times. Now again, you can do some math there, but my math tells me that's 15% increase. That's insanely good. That means you, with the Pixelate and the Mystical Fire debuff, those special hitters are just barely doing any damage to you, specifically to you. And that debuff of the special attack, that means their special attack hitting your teammates is really, really weak. So you just need to keep that in mind. And now, if I replay that clip there, you're going to see how much lifesteal I got off hitting the Rayquaza there. That's something that you need to consider. the Draining Kiss and the Mystical Fire provided so much value there. Now, I actually get caught there. The Gardevoir ult, I didn't think he had it still at that point, but he obviously hadn't used it yet. So that was a mistake from me. Not a very good Rayquaza fight, and we'll go over the Rayquaza fight very, very shortly. But you can see, as I've been ripping on Dodrio in my tier list, look at what he does. He comes and he steals it. Now, this guy using Dodrio, he was absolutely amazing. Shaker, absolutely amazing player. So, very good, but he makes my stance on Dodrio a little bit more challenging. Now, this game, I decided to drop the Rapid Fire Scarf and use the Assault Vest. Reason being is because you've already got all that debuffing, like we've explained, and you throw an Assault Vest on top, those special hitters aren't really doing anything to you. Now remember, as soon as you hit your SYLVEON, you want to bully. Now I'm going to throw up some stats, some attack and defense stats on the screen here. SYLVEON's jump from level 3 to level 4 is absolutely huge. Very, very big jump. Look at that special attack stat. Okay, and not only that, if you compare this to the other special attackers, the reason why you can go so deep is because he's way bulkier than all those other special attackers early. So he's very, very tanky. So he's got the stats to back it up, and look how deep you can go. It's like you think it's all over, but then the Focus Band comes, then the Potion comes, then the Draining Kiss when you hit level 6, and then you've got all the SpellVamp when you hit level 7, right? So you get ahead early. Those level 4 stats are just absolutely crazy. Okay, super, super bulky. If you've learned a thing or two about SYLVEON, please give the video a little bit of a thumbs up, show me a little bit of love there. And if you're not in the Discord server, come and check it out, be a part of the conversation. And if you've got some knowledge to share, come and chat with some of the people, because a lot of the people, I believe, are learning the game, and we're trying to learn as much as we can and all climb together. And there's going to be plenty of giveaways. The first giveaway I'm doing is a capture card, so if you play on the Switch and you want to create some content and share it with the community, please get involved and try and win a capture card so you can share some of your knowledge with the community. And an absolutely no pressure Patreon. If you're interested in any coaching, feel free to get involved there and be a part of the premium part of the Discord server. Absolutely no pressure. Everything I'm doing on YouTube is always going to be for free, because that's my fundamental belief. But anything to help me give more back to the community and do more expensive giveaways and more valuable giveaways is definitely much appreciated. Now, one of the final parts of SYLVEON's build that I haven't touched on is the Unite move. SYLVEON's Unite move is so incredible, again touching on that sustain aspect. She jumps into the air and she gets a buff for 10 seconds, and you heal 50% of the damage that you deal. This is massive lifesteal, but unfortunately if you're hitting a shield, you don't quite get the HP back. You also get the movement speed, the cooldown reduction, and a big shield when you go in with your Unite move. The downfall about this Unite move is that it's got a rather long cooldown. Now this is where my idea of the energy EM comes in, is that you're going to be doing more damage while you've just launched off that Unite move. So you're essentially going to be healing more. And I think that's maybe unexplored territory, or maybe someone's going to drop a comment and tell me that's stupid. I don't know. It's something that I've just thought of. I think it's a fairly decent idea, and obviously trying it, I felt it's been pretty impactful. And it also means that typically when you're using SYLVEON, the last time you want to Unite is around about the 4-minute mark. You don't want to be pushing any further, because it's got a very, very long cooldown. With the energy amp, that means typically these fights break out at that 3-minute, or in this game it's a 4-minute mark, so it's not really too much of an issue. But typically those fights break out at about the 3-minute 30 mark, and you want to be able to Unite there with everybody else so that you're kind of keeping up with the speed of the fight there rather than having to hang on to it. Now let's talk about your role at the Rayquaza fight. It's really tricky because you don't really have any crowd control. You're not really a shredder, big DPS. You're a debuffer and you're a bit of a tank. So you've got to remember your role, right? Your role isn't to try and initiate the fight. In this fight it should be Slowbro going in there, but my Slowbro's not really doing anything. So you've got to try and go in. Now, again with the SYLVEON, you're not going to win every single game. Just keep that in mind. It's a really awesome build, but you need, alright, it takes two to tango, okay? Your team needs to join the party. So you need to go in there, you need to make sure you get that Unite move off. Typically when you've taken a little bit of damage, and just launch off those mystical fires and draining kisses and try and debuff the enemy as much as possible. But unfortunately we were just getting steamrolled that game, and Sylveon is just one of those Pokemon that's able to hold its own. You can see the damage numbers there, but doesn't quite do the job. So this game I've tried out the Energy Amp, and I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, I thought it was pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed it. Again, early game. I'm not even interested in the bees here. I'm looking to push this Slowbro as far back. I'm only going to score if it's absolutely free, right? The jungle comes down now. My team's pushing pretty deep there, so I'm going to try and get them to retreat. But your job, unless if the farm is free, you don't take it, right? You just kill them because you're so strong early, and you need to recognize that. People aren't doing this well enough when they're using Sylveon. You can go so deep, just limit test. You're going to absolutely surprise yourself with how deep you can go and how much you can survive. You just have to back yourself. Do it a couple of times. See how deep you can go. Okay, we're so far ahead in this game. I was level 7 at the first bees, which is the 8-minute bees. And I'm not even interested in the farm. Okay, I probably shouldn't have gone after the Cinderace because I've given a fair bit of experience back. So that's not very good. Good thing it was on the Cinderace, but not the best. Now, one thing Sylveon does amazingly well is defend on its own base. It's so strong. If you've got the Unite move, level 8, then you've got so many forms of healing, you've got so many forms of sustain. The team has to overcommit like crazy to try and knock you out. So many resources have to go into it, so long as you don't overcommit. Now, I get a little bit overconfident here, and I go way too deep. Okay, you're going to see this is a very, very big misplay on my end. I should have kited back. I should have recognized that we were a little bit behind. We didn't quite have the damage to peel off because we've got the Comfey supporting me, and that pretty much puts us in a bad situation. So I've gone way too deep here, and I've put my team in a really bad spot. I've put them in a really bad spot. So you are going to make some mistakes, and it's important to recognize them. That right there, that's a 3-second rule. It's like kite back and just wait for the enemy to overcommit. But this Pokemon can do so much work. Okay, it can do so much damage, and especially using the Energy Amp, it kind of felt like every time I launched off the Unite move, I was able to just do so much work. I was able to get so much value out of it. And because right there, I've launched off at the 3-minute 30 mark, if I didn't have the Energy Amp, I'm not getting that Unite move back. Absolutely no chance I'm getting the Unite move back. Now, it's an absolute must. It's a requirement at the Rayquaza fight. It is a form of sustain. It is absolutely crucial and key. So you want to time the way you go in, you take a bit of damage, Unite move, and then you're just dashing around because you've got so much cooldown. You've got the cooldown reduction, you've got the Mystical Fire Plus, which gives you another fireball, so you can reduce the cooldown of the skill a little further when you hit it, and you're going to be doing more damage because you got 5. So it's incredibly strong late game. You fire off, you tank, you debuff, you heal, you do so much work. Now the Pokemon has got very little secure and very little rip, so your one focus is team fighting. It's absolutely crucial you team fight. You don't just start ripping an objective. So big win, big damage, a lot of fun to use, absolutely a go-to for me.